give me five, give me double time.
It was time to determine the top 6 in the SRA K&N Throwback Series Chase Grid as they came to the Talladega Super Speedway for race number 3 in the first round. It was Ariani on the pole with Marcus Richardson second, Caleb Eisenhower third, Nick Northrup fourth, and Eric Sable the top 5. And Ariani would lead the first lap, but that's when the mayhem would start to begin. Audi would get in front of Marcus Richardson, trying to slow him down or get out of the way. He nearly gets hooked, and he would fall to the very back of the pack, and Marcus Richardson would take over the race lead. But then, as they came out turn 4, Caleb Eisenhower tries to get in front of Nick Northrup, but it was just a little too late. He gets bumper hooked, and they both go crashing into the wall. The first caution would come out, and the term bumper hook will start to become a very common term throughout the majority of the race. On lap number 8, it was Lachlan McMillan's turn to come to the front. He was on the outside of Eric Sable, getting help from Bobby Zalinski, who was looking for his third win in a row and looking to sweep the first round of the chase. But then on lap number 16, he gets bumper hooked by David Shutt. He goes spinning hard in the wall, goes McMillan, and that was not the caution though, because in the match scramble, Nicholas Carezzo hooks Bobby Cheney. He spins in 3 and 4. That clips Sable, and Aaron Cummings were also involved in this wreck, and that would cause the second caution of the race to come out. We then go to lap number 27 when it looked like the field would start to get single file and actually pace around. The way the draft worked, that would not happen. Kyle Putz goes to the outside of Jesse Schwartz and Cedric Hunter, and those guys would start to battle for the lead, and eventually Putz would take it, but eventually lose it to Bobby Zalinski. He would lead for quite a number of laps until Cedric Hunter would get to the outside and take the lead on lap number 38. But as they were coming to start lap number 39, they got passed by Connor Anton with Zalinski. Bumper hooks Hunter. That caused a big mess that collects Hunter, Kyle Putt, Marcus Richardson, David Fish, and David Shutt, among others. And then after the race on number 44, Jared Darling then bumper hooks Josh Brown. He goes flipping on his side, clips Zalinski, and Zalinski's chance at 3 in a row was effectively over. Eric Cummings also got a piece of his wreck as well, and that was the 4th caution of the race. We then have Mark Newland start to make a challenge for the lead. Number 52, he would get by David Fish with help from Jared Darling, but then on lap number 53, as Darling was on the outside trying to get the lead, Fish then bumper hooks Newland. He goes sliding to the inside, makes a great save, but he falls to the very back of the field. And then David Fish would then get bumper hooked by Austin Roberts on number 63. Jesse Schwartz was also involved, and they were all be out of that big crash, and that actually helped Mark Newland's cause. We then go to number 76. It was Jared Darling and Benjamin Nelson having a duel for the lead that lasted for several laps. Eventually, it would be Nicholas Carezzo would come through and take the lead, but then remember Mark Newland. He spun earlier, and he actually comes back with Connor Anton helping him, and he reclaims the lead on lap number 80. And just when it looked like the things would finally settle in for Newland, he gets bumper hooked again, this time by Connor Anton. He goes sliding on the inside. He would make another great save, but he would just get on the racetrack and hit skid, and that would force the yellow to come out with less than 10 laps to go. And then as the leaders were coming to 2 to go, Connor Anton slides down and takes the lead away from Benjamin Nelson. But as they were going for the triover to get 2 to go, Lachlan McMillan comes down on Ariani. He gets hooked, and that forces a big crash with Jared Darling, Nicholas Carezzo, and David Shutt all involved in this mess. And that would effectively end the race under the caution flag, as Connor Anton would pace the field to the stripe, and he would take the win in the final race of Chase round number 1 at Talladega. The final results were Connor Anton, Benjamin Nelson, Mark Newland 3rd, Lachlan McMillan 4th, Kyle Putz 5th, Nicholas Carezzo in 6th, Jared Darling in 7th, Bobby Cheney, Ariani, and Eric Cummings will round out the top 10. And in terms of the final 6 Chase qualifiers, it's Bobby Zalinski, Ariati, Connor Anton, Jesse Schwartz, Eric Sable, and Nicholas Carreso will be their 6 drivers fighting it out for the championship at the Atlanta Motor Speedway next week. We'll be back for the SRA Slick Daddy Gen6 series also at Talladega.
Bad days don't stand a chance. Take the blade in your hands and cut what you will. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Rated M for mature. Konami.
It was then the SRA Slick Daddy Gen6 series turn to come to Talladega to determine their final 6 for the chase. And in terms of the action, it wasn't quite as wild as the Throwback race was. It was Marcus Richardson on the pole with Ariati second, Jared Darling third, Femi Olat in fourth, and Benjamin Nelson around the top 5. And early on, the highlight wasn't working that well until Bobby Cheney stuck with it and took the lead away from Marcus Richardson, who led every lap at this point on lap number 14. And Cheney's lead would last to lap 20 when Richardson gets help from Cedric Hunter on the top side, and he would reclaim the race lead at lap number 20. And while everything was starting to settle out, there would be problems for Eric Sable. As they were coming for turn 3, he would actually grenade a motor on the exit of turn 4, and Eric Sable's day was over. We then would start green flag pits on number 30. Brett Boncari and Nicholas Carreso were the only 2 to take tires on the first go-around, and then eventually a lap later, here came the rest of the field as everyone basically piled in the pit road, and eventually pit stops and other driving mistakes would break up the main pack, as eventually a single file line would form of about 9 or 10 cars, and eventually Marcus Richardson would continue to lead the charge, and everyone would start to settle into a nice rhythm. We would then fast forward to lap number 67. Bobby Zalinski was actually trying to get the outside line going with help from David Schutt, but everyone pretty much stuck to the bottom and nothing really was happening. But eventually, after the second round of green flag pit stops, David Schutt inherited the lead and the pack was down to 5 cars. And then eventually we go all the way to 2 laps to go as David Schutt was in the lead. He goes out to block Marcus Richardson, but Connor Anton takes advantage, goes to the inside, and he would take the lead out of turn 4 to start the final lap, where Richardson slices in front of Schutt and then goes right to the outside of Connor Anton with Bobby Zalinski in tow. And as they came through turns 3 and 4, Marcus Richardson and Anton were side by side. Richardson would get more help with a good push from Zalinski on the exit of 4, and he would just get clear of Connor Anton, and they would come through the tri-oval, and Marcus Richardson would claim the victory at Talladega and end chase round number 1. But behind them, in a battle for 10th place, Bobby Cheney gets into Jared Darling, and he goes for a wicked crash on the inside retaining wall. I'd be surprised he didn't lose his lunch. The final results were Marcus Richardson, Connor Anton, Bobby Zalinski in 3rd, Locke McMillan 4th, David Schutt 5th, Delonte Ballard 6th, Ariati 7th, Brett Boncari in 8th, Cody Miller 9th, and Bobby Cheney. Despite that record, Darling would round the top 10. And after all of that, your final chase grid is Bobby Zalinski, David Schutt, Femi Olat, Connor Anton, Ariati, and Jared Darling are your top 6. But one thing to keep in mind, a couple of seasons ago, Bobby Zalinski was the number 1 seed in both chases, but he did not go on to win the championship.